The old woman was found in her rocking chair, her once white hair now stained with blood. The town of Maple Hollow had always been a quiet place, tucked away from the world where nothing much happened, but the murder of Edith Wren shattered that peace. Edith wasn't well liked. She had been an oddity in town, a reclusive figure who lived alone in a ramshackle house on the hill. Her only company had been the dozens of glass dolls she kept in every room, which she called her glass children. They were eerie, fragile figures, each meticulously crafted, with hollow eyes that seemed to follow anyone who dared step inside her home. She had told the town once that her dolls were more than just dolls. She claimed they had souls, souls of lost children who had lost their lives in tragic ways. When Edith was found brutally murdered, no one could explain why. No one knew who could have done it. Her house was locked from the inside, the door barred with heavy furniture, and there was no sign of struggle. The only thing that seemed out of place were the glass children. The police searched her house thoroughly, but the dolls were everywhere, hundreds of them, all posed in unnatural ways. But what chilled the officers to the bone was the one doll that wasn't in the cabinet. It was lying at Edith's feet, her hands frozen around the tiny figure, its glass face cracked and twisted in a grotesque imitation of a human scream. After Edith's death, the town began to change. Those damn dolls were seen everywhere, and not little miniature versions either. The first person to disappear was Simon, the town's carpenter. He had gone to Edith's house to settle an old dispute over a bill, but when he didn't return, the town thought little of it. He'd been known to wander off for days at a time, but when his body was found, stiff, cold, and covered in shards of glass. Then Margaret, the baker, and young Joey, who was just 12. All of them vanished without a trace, their bodies found later twisted and contorted as if something had twisted them into unnatural shapes. Their eyes were wide open, locked in expressions of terror. The only thing found around them were pieces of glass, scattered like confetti on the ground. The town became convinced it was Edith. Somehow she had returned, but not as the woman they knew. No. Edith's curse had turned her collection of glass children into something far worse. No curse is worse than vengeful spirits. The case was closed, hoping the killings would end. And they did.